Hi, welcome to MSc Technologies. Today class we are going to discuss data types. Let me recap what we have done in the last class. Last class we have discussed about Python data types. In data types also we discussed the very first layer, that is a defined data types, and we discussed about what are the data types, what is the data, what are the types available, and in Python what are the data types available, we discussed. Along with the number also we have completed. Now we'll complete the remaining string, list, tuple, dictionary set. We'll see today. Okay. Before starting, initially what you need to do, I will share this Python file, right? Already I explained, but let me explain one more time. What you need to do, how you have to practice, I will explain. Okay. I will share this Python zip file. This you need to unzip, then you will get this file. This what you need to do in PyChar. Come to PyChar, then file, open. You can go wherever the Python file is there, folder. Okay, this is the folder I want to import. Then it will ask this pop-up. Just you can select this window. That means same window, it will open that Python file, you can see. Okay, this is the one first you need to do. Then if you see here, we have a data type. This is the first topic. Okay, now you can extend this data types folder. Inside the data types also, we have segregated into different layers. First one is a defined data types. Second one is slicing operations. Third one is variable operations. First, we have to start with a defined data types. You can extend this folder. Then already data type note we have completed. What is the data type? What is the purpose of that? Okay. Now number also I have completed. What is the number? How to define a number? How to update? How to delete? In first layer, just we are covering the what is the data type and how to define, how to update, how to delete. These things only we are covering. Okay. Now we'll go for a string. Okay. If you want to decrease the font size, right? Already I told you can go to here, settings. Okay. Here you can search the font because I want to reduce. It looks so heavy. Let me keep the 16. We'll see how it's look. Yeah, now it is fine. We can able to see the complete sentence and all. Okay. Now let me explain. In interview question they will ask, okay, what is string? This is very important interview question. Okay. Oh, let me remove this one. Okay. The important interview question is what is string? Then your answer will be like this. Okay. Using strings, we can store any value, but it should be in a single quotes or double quotes. Usually a number mean what? You can store only integer values or float values. Sometimes you want to store the different value, that's mean characters and special characters, combination of the characters, number, special characters. If you have a requirement like that, what we need to do? We have to store in a string data type. Okay, we have to store in a string data type. How do you define a string data type? Mean by using a single quotes or double quotes. Okay, we have to enclose the with single quotes or double quotes. How it will be mean? I will explain. Okay. But example, here I am defining one variable name. I want to store a string data type in that name. Okay. Here you can see I have given MSc Technologies along with the mobile number, some special characters. If you have a requirement like this, okay, anything except number, except float value, if you want to store anything, that should be in a single string only. String means the complete value you have to enclose with the single quotes or double quotes. Now here I have created a one string with all the characters, numeric and special characters. Okay. Now I want to practice. Usually what you need to do, okay, here I click given a documentation also. What you need to do, you have to practice these variables. How do you practice? Mean you have to create a one new file to practice. How do you create in PyCharm? Mean, but example, I want to create a new file in a inside a data define data types folder. Then you can select that folder, right click, new Python file. I want to create a Python file. That's why you can give it Python. Now I'm creating one file to practice this Python string data type. Okay. Then practice mean you can give any name, text.py, or if you don't give also extension, no issue. If you give also, no issue. Now it is created a one file, test.py file. You can see inside a defined data types folder, you can see one new file created. Okay. Now how you have to practice me, the way how I am practicing now, same manner you have to practice. But I am doing the copy paste, but you have to write everything. How you have to write me, let me explain. But example, initially what you need to do, you have to define one string. Then you should not change this existing file. We have to create one new file for practicing purpose. Instead that practicing file, you have to come to practice file. Then I want to create a one string. This is a name. You can give any name as a variable name. If you want to create any string, the string should be in a single quotes or double quotes. Inside a single quotes, we have to write. What is the purpose of string mean? Here I given a documentation. Okay. Now I want to store a characters and special characters along with the numbers. Inside a string, you can store anything. MSc technologies. Okay, you can give some number, whatever you wish. Then special characters also you can give. That's mean anything you can store. String mean what? You can store anything, but it should be in a single quotes or double quotes. If you see here in PyCharm, it is giving the auto suggestion. Okay, that is the advantage of the PyCharm. But while practicing, if you go Notepad++, right, it doesn't give the any auto suggestions. This editor if you use, then you have to write each and every character yourself. That's make you perfect. But example, if you give auto suggestion mean you no need to put any effect. Now you can see. Okay. Then you cannot learn the syntax properly, and the subject also you don't get that much hands-on. But once you know the subject, then if you use PyCharm, it's helpful because if you use the PyCharm, right, we can develop code very fast. If any issues also, it will fix and it will give the auto suggestions to develop the code fast. Okay. My recommendation is initially if you practice in a Notepad++, you will get a more hands-on experience. That's mean every character if you write yourself, think and write, you will never forget, and you will see the some syntax issues also. But if auto suggestions mean syntax also you do never get because it will do the syntax itself, complete sentence. Okay, that is up to you. My recommendation is go with the Notepad++. Otherwise, if you feel convenient with PyCharm, you can go PyCharm also. Now what I'm doing, I'm created a one string variable inside a single quotes which contains the characters, numbers, special characters. Then I am printing. You can see name is MSc Technologies. Okay. If you give only numbers also, no issue. You can see only number. If you give only special characters also, no issue. Okay. Now if I don't give inside a single quotes, let me see. Let me show you what happened. You can see invalid syntax error. Okay. I'm giving the characters. MSc Technologies. This PyCharm will it's will auto sizes like this. Okay. But example, without single quotes I have given. Let's see what happened. It is throwing the syntax error. Okay, that's why if anything, but if you give directly number, it's work. Number mean you can give directly. Now it is working. Number mean or float value also like this. If you give directly, it will work. If it is a apart from the number, anything special character or space or any character number with character with number, character with special character, also it will fail. That's why remember. But if this number also, if you give in a single quotes, it will become a string. Once it has become a string, what is the issue mean? You cannot do the mathematical operation, addition, subtraction like that. If you want to do mathematical operation, it should be like a number only. That's you have to remember. Number also, if you define as a single quotes, what happen mean? It will become a string. It does not be. It does not become a number. Okay, that's you should be very clear. Okay. Now, what we understood, except number. Okay, if it is only the number, then no issue. You can give without single quotes. If it is a except number, anything character or special character, then you have to go with a single quotes or double quotes. Hope you are clear. Okay, if it is single quotes means it's working like this. Okay, now now I don't want to do practice on a pie chart. Let me practice with the notepad plus. Okay, you also at least you need to practice at least till functions. You have to practice a notepad plus. Then you can go pie chart. But in the real time we use pie chart only. But while learning, it's not that much good. You don't get a that much expert. Okay, because it's give the auto suggestions, syntax, everything it will take care. That doesn't help you to learn from the scratch very clearly. Okay. Now what I do, same I will do in a notepad plus. Okay, if you wish you can go with the uh, PyCharm also. Okay, let me go to data types, define data types, string. Okay, now text, right? This is the text file where we are doing practice. Okay, okay. Now creation part is over. How to create, how to print. This part is over. Now let me come to here. Remaining files I am closing. Using string, we can store any value, but it should be in a single quotes or double quote. This quotation already you know definition. Now next one is what? Okay, as I told here, if you see, it should be in a single quotes or double quotes. But you should know very clearly when we have to go with single quotes, when we have to go with a double quotes. Okay, because string is very important in Python. Wherever you go, you have to use a string. That's why you should be very clear when we have to go single quotes, when we have to go double quotes. Now single quotes already we have practiced. Now double quotes, let me explain. When we have to go double quotes, when if string contains single quote, then we have to go double quotes. But example, now what I am doing a copy paste because I want to avoid the time wasting. Okay, but what you need to do while practicing, you have to write each and every character yourself. How I will show you. Okay, you should not do copy paste. Let me explain one more time. While doing practice, you can refer my file, no issue. But each and every character you have to write yourself. Now I am doing same thing, but moving forward I will do copy paste because I don't want to waste time. But you have to write yourself. How you have to write? Let me explain. It should be empty file you have to create. Then while practicing each and every character you have to write. This is not the dot actually. This is a space. In the notepad plus, if you want to see the space as a dot, right? What you can do? View, show symbol, show space and tab. If you untick this option, right? You don't see this. Okay. Now I'm avoiding that part also. What is the purpose of that activating this part? View, show symbol, show space and tab, right? Once we jump into the uh, conditional statements, right? That time it is required. Name. Now I want to show you why we have to use a double quotes. Single quotes is very clear. I want to store one sentence, that is a I don't know Python. Then I have created, then I'm going to print. Now let me run. How do you run a Python file in Notepad++? Mean you have to move the cursor into file name, right click, open into content folder in CMD. Okay. My recommendation is initially, at least till functions, you have to practice in a Notepad++ because it doesn't give the auto suggestions, auto syntax also. That help you to learn efficiently Python basics and all. Now I have increased the font size also. Already explained where to increase, where to decrease. Okay, here you can see plus symbol and minus. Okay. Now I'm going to run Python space test.py. Now you can see here we got a syntax error. Okay, unterminated string literal detected at line number 2. In Python, it will show very clearly where was the issue, the line number also. It is a line number 2. Line number 2, this is one. Why it is throwing error means if you see, if Python can understand if any string is with single quotes. But here what happens, single quotes opened here, it is closed here. But this part and all doesn't covered with any single quotes. That's why it is confusing. It cannot able to predict whether it is a number. If you go only number, right, it can understand. If you give a complete sentence in a single quotes, it's understand. But here what is the problem? There is one more single quotes inside a sentence. That's causing the issue. But my requirement is my sentence come like this. Then what is your approach? Mean if you have any requirement like this, you have to use a double quotes. Let me run and show you. CLS. If you want to clear a screen in Windows command prompt, what is the command? CLS. That's mean it will avoid remove the earlier executions and the, again upper tab, up arrow, enter. Now you can see now it is printing properly. I don't know Python. Okay. Now let me explain. When you have to use double quotes mean if the string contains any single quotes. If string contains any single quotes, we have to enclose that string with the double quotes. Hope you are clear, right? Now one more thing. When we have to go double quotes. But example, I have one sentence. What does the sentence mean? I know Python. I know Python. But I want to highlight the Python with the double quotes. This is my sentence. I want to highlight to Python with the double quotes. This is my sentence. I want to store this sentence in variable. Then what you need to do? If you give like this, let's see. Let me show you what happened. You can see syntax error. Again, there is a problem. What is the problem? Mean still open. Double quotes opened here. It is closed here. Again, it is opened here, closed here. This Python doesn't cover in any quotes, single quotes or double quotes. That's why it is not able to understand. That's why it is throwing the error. If you have a requirement like this, then you can go with the single quotes. You can go with a single quotes. Now let me run and show you. You can see, I know Python. Now Python I'm representing in double quotes. Okay, this is the purpose of the single quotes. Now we have one more doubt. I have a both. single quotes and double quotes in my string like this. I don't know Python. I don't know Python. I want to highlight Python with double quotes. Now, how do you handle a string? Now, how do you handle this string? Mean, if you have a requirement like this, if you want to store both, what you need to do? You have to enclose the string with the triple quotes. Starting with triple quotes, ending with triple quotes. Now, the string contains both double quotes and single quotes. Now you can see my string contains I don't single quotes, no Python. The Python is highlighted with double quotes. Okay. Hope you are very clear. What is the string? How do you define a string? If you know the three things, that's enough. First one is what? If normal plain string mean you can use single quotes only, no issue. Sometimes if the string contains a single quotes inside a string, right? We have to enclose with double quotes. If it's contain a double quotes, you can enclose with the single quotes. If it contains a both, you can use the triple quotes. Okay, if you know these things, you can able to handle any kind of string. Next is updation. But example, I have created one string. Okay, my string is Python. I want to update this value. How do you update a string? It's very simple. Name equals to Java. I want to update with Java. It's very simple. You have to redefine the same variable name equals to Java. Then what happen? It will override whatever already Python is there, right? It will remove and it will keep the Java. Now let me print. If you do any changes, remember you have to save in a notepad plus plus. Control S, okay? Java. Now you can see the name is updated or replaced. If you want to delete, how do you delete? del name. It's very simple. Then it will remove this variable. Again, if you try to print, it cannot able to find. It's similar to the way how we deleted number. It got a name error. Name error means it is not able to find this name. Okay, name is not defined. Okay, that's when it is deleted. Then if you are trying to access, it could not able to find. Like this, you have to type each and everything while doing the practice. Okay, that's all about a string. Hope you are very clear. This is the definition. If someone asks what is string, these are the definition. How do you define? How to update deletion? Okay. Next data type is list. This is also very important data type. If someone asks what is list, first of all, you should be very clear definition part. What is list mean? List is used to store multiple values, and we can do operation on each value based on index. Using square brackets, we can create a list. Now, let me explain very clearly why list came into picture. Okay, because why this question came in, let me explain. But example, if I want to store any number, right? We have an integer data type. If you want to store apart from the number anything, you have a string. Again, why list came into picture? This is a very important point. You should be very clear, okay? Why list came into picture? Because I have all the data types, numbers I can store. Character string is there. String mean you can store any values. But why it came me, let me explain. Sometimes so, but example name is an arrays. No issue. You can use a number data type. But I want to store the names. I want to store the names. Then what is the way mean? We have to use a list. List purpose is to store a multiple values. That's mean I want to store names like Naresh. It should be single quotes only, okay? If it is except number anything, it should be single quotes or double quotes, as I told. Naresh, Balu, Babu, Ramesh. Okay. Like this, you can define we can store a multiple values. All the values it will store in this variable. Okay. But how do you define a list mean? With square brackets. Inside a square brackets, we have to store a multiple values. Each value you can segregate with the comma. Like this, we have to segregate each value. In a list, you can store the any value. It's not a only characters or only string like that. Okay. If you want to give numbers also, you can store. If you want to store float values also, you can store. Anything you can store. Okay, that you can remember. Okay. But here we given in names, right? That's why usually we store the group of values. Names will store. Employee IDs mean only it's contain employee IDs. That based on that they will understand what values it is. Okay. But usually you can store the any value. Okay, for practicing purpose, I'm giving the numbers also. Okay, now one more time, let me explain. What is the use of list mean? We can store a multiple values. Okay, now you have a question. Here also we can store like this we can store Naresh, Balu, Babu like this. Inside a string also. But disadvantage is what? You cannot able to do the operation on individual value. But example in future, I want to remove the Balu. If you go string, you cannot delete. But you can delete. It's a lot of hectic. Okay. But in future, I want to add one more name. In string, we cannot do. Okay. The purpose of the list mean we can store a multiple values and we can do operation on individual value also. How do you do the operation on individual value? This is important. Okay. How do you do the operation on individual? I mean, based on the index. Okay. Based on index. I hope you know very clear about a has. If I give has mean I am commenting this seventh line. Right? This line completely will comment. Comment mean this line doesn't execute by the interpreter, Python interpreter. Okay. Something if you want to give any documentation and you don't want to execute any line, then we have to comment. How do you comment a single line mean has. Multi-line mean already I explained, but again one more time I'm telling, okay? With the triple quotes. More than one line mean triple quote starting with ending. Single line mean has. What is the purpose of commenting mean this line doesn't execute. Okay. Because why I'm telling again and again, you should be very clear these things and all. Okay. You should not get any confusion. Okay. Now part is index. Okay. Usually what I told list mean we can store the multiple values and we can do operation on each value. That's mean updating the any value, deletion, okay, creating a new value like that we can do based on the index. But index mean how it will form. Okay, that's mean index start with the 0. Start with 0 mean the first value index always will be 0. That's mean this value stored in a 0 index in a list. Then second value will store in a 1. Third value 2. Like that one by one it will increase. It's very simple. Start with 0. Then it will increase one by one. How many values you have? That means it will increase 4, 5. Index 5 mean total we have 6 values because it started with 0. This is how index will form in a list. Next what we need to do, we'll see how to print a list variable. How do you print it? Very simple. Print of means this parenthesis the least we have to give. I given a list here. Let me run it. CLS clear screen, up arrow, run. You can see. If you want to print a complete list, right? What is the purpose? Print of list name. That's all. You can see this is the list. Okay. Now my requirement is I want to access only Babu. I want access only. I don't want to get all the values. I want to get only Babu. Then what you need to do? You have to access this value based on an index. How it will be mean? Names of mean we have to give parenthesis. Remember, not parenthesis. Square brackets we have to give. Names of square bracket. Here we have to give the index value. What is the index of Babu? 2. If you give 2, index mean it will print the whatever value we have in a index 2. Index to what value we have? You can see first value index is 0. Second value index is 1. Okay. Third value index is 2. In the 2 index, what is the value? Babu. Expected value is Babu. Now let me run. See, the value is Babu. Like this, what we can do? We can access the particular value based on index. Now, I am questioning you. Okay. Now I want to access this value, this float value, 123.33. Then which index I need to give? I need to give index 5. Okay, let me run it. 123.33. Now I want to access a Balu. Okay, what is index? Index is a 1. But here we can able to see the index. But while practicing, you can ignore. First, you can do like this. Then you can remove this part. Then you can practice. It's a very simple. Index part is nothing. Okay, you can see Balu. Okay, let me explain one more time. Index start with 0. That's mean first value will store in a index 0. Okay, then second value will be 1. Like that, it will increase the till how many values we have in a list. Next, we have a negative index also. We have a negative index also in Python. Negative index mean it will start with -1. Start with -1. -1 mean it is the last value of the list. But example, how many values we have that you can ignore. Last value index, negative index is -1. Last to second value is -2. Like that it will increase. Last to third value mean -3. Third mean just you have to add a minus, that's all. Remaining and same. This is -4. This is last to fifth value mean -5. Last to sixth value means -6. Like that it will store in a negative index. Okay, this is also one of the feature in a list. Positive index, negative index. Positive index start with 0, that's mean first value. Negative index start with -1, that is the last value. Okay, sometimes they may ask, I don't know how many values we have in a list. I don't know how many values we have in a list, but I want to get a third value from the last. Then what is your approach? We have to use a -3. What is third value from the last? First two value is 123.33 float value. Next is 123. Next one is a Ramesh. Now let me print Ramesh. You can see. Okay. Now I want to print a Balu based on the negative index. Then what is the value I need to give? -5. You can see Balu. Okay. This is very simple. Okay. Positive index means start with 0, it will increase, and negative index means it start with from the last value and it will increase. Values will increase, just you will add a minus. That's called negative index. Okay. Hope you are very clear about the index things. Okay, how to access that. Now we have to delete. We need to delete a particular value based on index or update. Before deletion, we need to update, right? First, we will do the update operation. Okay, the way how I am doing, right? Everything I am writing and executing, you have to do practice similarly. Whatever file I am sharing, you should not do any operation on this. This is for your reference, just for documentation. Now, I want to update. There is a Balu is there, right? In the index 1, that means second value. I want to change with Nagesh. Then what is approach mean? List of, what is the index we have Balu? Index 1. I am going to change with the Nagesh. Okay. Now you can see names. Okay. Names of 1. 1 mean we are clearly telling index 1 equals to Nagesh. That's mean this Nagesh will go to the names 1 index. Then whatever already value is there, it will override. That's mean it will remove and it will write a Nagesh. Let me print and show you complete list. After updating, I am printing the complete list. Now you can see second value is Nagesh. Here it was a Balu. This is how you can able to update a particular value in a list. If you give completely like this, right, without index, what happen? It's create a string with Nagesh. Okay, the list will remove and it will create a string. That's why be careful. You should give a index if you are going to update a particular value. Now I want to update a Ramesh based on negative index. Wherever Ramesh is there or wherever -3 index is there, there I want to change the value with Nagesh -3. Okay, you can use any index. Okay, list of positive index or negative index, that is up to you. Wherever -3 is there, there I want to change with the Kennedy. Okay, names of 3. 3 mean -3 mean index -3. Wherever -3 is there, it will change with Kennedy. Then you have to save the file. Then you can run. Now you can see -3 mean last to third value. First value is same, second value is same, third value change to Kennedy. This is how what we can do. We can able to update a particular value. That is the advantage of the list. We can store in a multiple values and we can able to do the operation particular value. Now deletion. How do you delete a particular value? Del of, okay. If you give complete list, right, what happen? It will remove the complete list. If you want, I will show you. Delete list. Now we got a name error because after deleting, if you try to access that variable, it cannot able to find. That's why it is throwing the name error. That's mean the name whatever you are using here names, right? That's not able to find. Okay. Now I don't want to remove the complete list. I want to remove the particular value. How do you remove it? Deletion of mean parenthesis square brackets we had to go. There you have to specify the index. I want to remove the Ramesh. I want to remove the Ramesh based on the negative index. Then you can go -3. Now you will see. You can see here. See the Ramesh value is removed. Now I want to remove the Naresh. Then which index I need to give? If I want to give the positive index mean 0. Negative index mean -6. You can see Naresh is removed. Okay, like this what you can do, you can update, you can insert, you can delete, all this we can say. Okay. Okay. Hope you are clear about the string. These are all the string operations we are doing. Okay. Just you do the practice. While doing the practice, each and every character you have to write yourself. That you have to remember. You should not do copy paste. While doing practice, someone what they do, completely they will remove this list, then they will copy, then they will execute. They feel okay, I have done the practice. Okay. If you don't write each and every character yourself, that doesn't come under practice. Okay. Don't do anything copy paste. Each and every character you have to write and practice. Okay. Now list is completed. We'll go for a next data type tuple. Okay, next data type is tuple. What is tuple? Now question is what? Okay, already we have a numbers to store all the numbers. Already we have a string to store any value. And if you want to store the multiple values, that's mean whether it is a number, string, float value, anything, we have a list. Again, why tuple came into the picture? This is the very important point. You have to ask yourself and you have to clarify yourself. Okay. Now let me explain what is the purpose of the tuple, why tuple came into picture. First point, if someone asks what is tuple, this is the answer you have to tell. Okay. Tuple is used to store multiple values and we can do operation on each value based on index. If you see the list also, the first point is very same. Here also same. Okay. But where is the difference? I will show you. Tuple is read-only object. Tuple is a read-only object. We cannot do update, insert and delete operations. This is an important point. Okay, different. Using parenthesis, we can create a tuple. List mean using the square brackets. Square brackets mean this is the square brackets. We can create a list. Tuple mean parenthesis. We can create. Okay. That is only the different. Okay. Now let me explain the tuple very clearly. Okay. I hope you are very clear, but practically also we'll see why tuple came into picture and where it's make the different compared to the list. That is very important. Let me go to the text file. Okay. Let me remove this part and I hope tuple and list. Okay. The way of defining is similar only. Only this is only the change. You will enclose with the parenthesis. If you use a parenthesis, it is a tuple. If you use a square bracket, that is a list. Here also you can define the multiple values, anything. If it is a string mean, sorry, if it is a character mean, you will store as a single quotes. If it's a number mean, directly you can give. And tuple also support a positive index and negative index, both it support. Okay. But where it's make the different, I will show you. Now it is a tuple, remember. You can see same, it is similar to list only, but there it will be square bracket. Here it is a parenthesis. If you want to access a particular value in tuple also, you can use the index. I want to get a first index value. If you give 1 mean, it's written a follow. -1 mean last value. Same only. But where it's make the different, I will show you. Names of 1 Nagesh. Now what I am doing, I am trying to update a index first value in a tuple. List it was updated. Now let's see what happened in a tuple. Now you can see very clearly we got a type error. What is the error message mean? Tuple object does not support item assignment. That's mean after creating a tuple, right? You cannot do any modification. You cannot add any new value and you cannot update existing value. You cannot delete existing value. That's mean once you create the structure, you cannot able to change. That's why it is the read-only object. After creating, you can do only read operations. You cannot do any update. Now let me try to deletion also. I am trying to delete a index 1 value. Now you will see what happened. Again we got a type error. Why mean? Tuple object does not support item deletion. Okay. If you want to delete a complete tuple, you can do. But the structure you cannot change. Particular value deletion, particular value updation, that you cannot. If you want completely, you can delete. Now you can see it will delete. We got a name error. That's mean it's not able to find a names because we have deleted. Hope you are clear. Now you should know what is the purpose. Okay, it is not allowing the duplicate values. What is the purpose mean? Sometimes you want to store any sensitive data. Sometimes you want to store any sensitive data like username, password, these things and all, bank user account number, anything, any sensitive value if you want to store. Okay, then we prefer a tuple because if the sensitive value stored in a tuple, if someone try to change, but example you have given some password, if you give the list, what happen? It can able to change someone. It can able to change someone. Okay, that will cause a issue. Okay, if a password someone by mistake they change me, it's create a lot of impact in the real world, right? That's why if you create in a tuple, by mistake someone tried to change, it doesn't allow. Then they will get to know, oh, this is in a tuple mean there is a sensitive data. That's why we should not do any modifications. They will get to know. That is the first advantage in a tuple. And the second advantage is if you want to store a millions of values, okay, that time if you store in a list tuple, what happen? The operation, the read operations is very fast. But anyway, it doesn't allow for the updation write operations, right? If you want to do read operations, you have a millions of values. The performance is compared to list, tuple do better. That time also we preferred a tuple. Okay, hope you are clear. This is the definition if someone asks. Then these are the practice unit. Just you have to define, then do the updation, operation, deletion, enough in the first layer. Next data type will go now. Next is a dictionary. Okay, before going to dictionary, you should be very clear why it came into picture. Okay, first let me explain the definition, then I will explain why it came into picture. If someone asks what is a dictionary, your answer will be like this. Dictionary is a collection of key value pairs. Using dictionary, we can represent data meaningfully. Based on key, we can do operation on each value. Using curly brackets, we can create a dictionary. Now let me explain the use case. Why dictionary came into picture? Because already we have a integer, num, string, and tuple dictionary. Sorry, tuple and this list. Why it came into picture? Because now my requirement is I want to store employee details. Employee details mean we get a multiple values like name will be there, employee ID is there, and department name is there, department ID is there, age is there. Okay, like this we have a multiple values. If you want to store multiple values, okay, already you know we can use a list. We can use a list. But why we are going a dictionary, I will explain clearly. Okay, but example, what are the employee details? Name is like this. Yes. This is employee ID, department ID. If it's a character mean, it should be single quotes, remember. Okay, each value we have to segregate with the comma. Then department ID 45. Now age is 33. You can consider like this. We have a employee details. If you store in a list, what is the problem? I will tell you. If I give these details to someone, okay, first they will see this name. Based on this, he will get to know. Okay, these are the employee details. By seeing first value, Nagesh. Okay, as the Indians, we can identify this is a name. Naresh is a name. But if you see in other countries, right, they don't know. Their naming conversion names are different. Okay, they cannot able to clearly get to know whether it is exact name of the employee or not. But worst case, they may get to know it is a name only. But what is 36? How do you know? How other people get to know? If you share details in like this, they cannot get able to understand what is 36. They will get confused. Here IT mean they will get to know, maybe it's maybe department name like that. But coming to here 45 is age or department ID or something. What is 33? It's a very challenging task to find value. That's why I told you very clearly. Using the dictionary, we can represent data meaningfully. It is not meaningful, you can see. No one cannot understand. Okay. Usually least purpose is what? If you want to store a group of similar values. But example, you want to store names. Okay, if you store all the names, you will get to know okay, all these are names. If you want to store EIDs, employee IDs, they will get to know these are all the employee IDs like this. Okay, if you store a list. Okay, if you want to store a group of similar values, then list is the better option. But different values, not similar values, it's difficult to identify others. Then we have to go to the dictionary. Now same data, if I want to, I will store in a dictionary. How it will be meaningful, I will show you. Same employee details as employee, and the dictionary we have to create with the curly brackets. Employee name is Naresh. This is the key. This is the colon. This is the value. Okay. Remember, dictionary is a key value pairs of data. We have multiple key values. Each key value pair we will segregate with a single quotes. Based on the key, they will get to know, okay, what is Naresh mean? Employee name. Okay. Here 36. What is 36 mean? Employee ID. What is IT mean? Department name. What is 45? Department ID. What is 33? Age. Like this, they can easily identify what is the value. Okay. This is how we can able to define a dictionary to represent data meaningfully. Hope you are very clear why dictionary came into the picture, what is the use case. Okay. Now let me practice. While practicing, I am doing the copy paste to avoid the time, but you don't do like that. You have to create your own. Remember, okay? Dictionary is a collection of key value pair. Let's mean key and value. We can store in a you can segregate each key value pair with a single quote. Okay. Comma, sorry, single quotes. Like this, we have key value pair. If it's a number, mean you no need to give a single quotes or double quotes. Except number, anything you have to store in a single quotes. Even the key also. Here 99 is the key. We can store as a key value. Now integer also you can store as a key value. Along with the float also we can store as a key value. Because why I given this reference mean in interviews they will ask, can I store integer value as a key? Can I give key as a integer? Can I give key as a float? Then your answer will be yes. Okay, now I'm printing a complete dictionary. You can see it's come like this. Complete dictionary. Now I want to get only employee ID. I don't want to get all the values from a dictionary. Then what is approach? Dictionary of, remember we have to use square brackets, If it's a key is a inside a single quotes mean you have to give similarly like this. Based on the key, we can perform the operation on each value. Remember, if it is a list or tuple mean index. If it is a dictionary mean we have to give key. Now you can see we got a 36. That is the employee ID. Now I want to get this 88. Then what you need to do? You have to give key as it is 99. If it is a single quotes, you have to use a single quotes. If it is normal without single quotes mean you have to give normal. You can see 88. Even the float also same only. Sir, 97 or 98, right? If the key is not exist, it will throw the key error. Clear screen. What happened? 67, huh? Okay. 67, that key. That one is. Okay, if you get any error, don't panic. Okay. You can read the complete message, error message, you will get to know. Now you can see, based on the key, what we can do, we can do the operational value. Now we are printing. If you want to do any update, what you can do, let me show you. Simple, it is very simple. Employee underscore details equals to, sorry, employee details of employee name equals to Kennedy. I want to change the employee name with Nagesh is there, right? I want to change with Kennedy. You can see employee name came as a Kennedy. This is how we can update any value based on key. If you want to delete, that is also very simple. Del of dictionary of key. Sorry, del space dictionary of key. Then particular value it will delete. Now you can see employee name is deleted. Earlier it was there. Now it is deleted. If you want to delete complete dictionary, just deletion of dictionary. Now you can see it is deleted. We got a name. That's mean after deletion it cannot able to find. Okay. These are all the dictionary operations. You should be very clear. What is the purpose of dictionary? What is the definition of dictionary? How to create? How to update a particular value? How to delete? This you have to practice. That's enough. Now last two data type is a set. What is the set purpose? We have many already. We have 5 data types. Again, why it came into the picture? Let me explain. Okay. Set is used to store unique values. It doesn't contains duplicate values. That's when if you give the duplicate values also, it will remove. Using curly brackets, we can create a set. Okay, even dictionary also we create a using curly brackets. But if you give a key value pair, it will become a dictionary. If you give a single values, it will become a set. Set does not support indexing. Okay, set does not support index. It's just multiple values, unique values. Okay, if you want to do practice, let me do it. But you don't do copy paste. Now, what is the purpose of set to me? But example, employee IDs you want to store. Okay, usually employee IDs we don't see any duplicate values. It should be unique. But names may contain a duplicate, sections may contain a duplicate, but employee ID always unique. Like that PAN card you want to store, PAN card numbers, that is unique only. That's why if you want to store any unique kind of values, we go for a set. Now if you see we have a duplicate value 33, 33 and 45. I am creating with duplicate value set, then I am printing. Now you can see it's removed 33, 45 and 23. All the duplicate value is removed. Here, what is the purpose of set mean? To store a unique values. That is the first thing. And we can do the set operations. Set operations mean union, intersection, union all. That kind of operations we can do. That will see the next layer. But as of now, you should know the definition, how to create and how to update. Updation part mean here we don't have a indexing. If you want, I will show you. Okay. EIDs of 1. Because particular value operation we cannot do. See, name EIDs is not defined. Sorry. IDs. You can see set object is not subscriptable. That's mean it is not subscriptable mean you cannot able to access the particular value. That's why you cannot able to do any operation on particular value. If you want delete, you can delete the complete set. It is deleted. That's why it's not able to find. Let me explain one more time. Set is used to store a unique values, and we can do the set operations like union, intersection, like that, and it does not support the index, and set values are unordered. That's mean here we have defined 45 first, right? Now it came to second place. That's mean it is unordered. The order we cannot predict. It will be random. Okay. Okay, that's all about the all these data types. The first layer we have completed. Now what you need to do? Okay, I told you already, you have to create a separate file. You have to do all the practice there. You have to write each and everything yourself, each and every character. Okay, after completing this defined data types, this first layer is completed in a data type, right? You have to plan a session. That's mean you have to explain the all these things whatever I explained till here, right? Number to set with the data types note also. Everything you have to explain. This is the data types available in Python. This is the data. These are all the types, and you have to explain with the definition. How you have to give the session mean? Each file you have to open. Okay, each file you have to open mean you have to give the session on a empty file. You should not explain the whatever file I have given. Here you have to open. You have to tell the okay. Hi all. Today I am giving the session on data types. Coming to number. Number mean you have to tell the number. What is the definition? Using the number you can store a any integer value. Integer value mean anything that is a 0 to 9. Then you have to define a number. Then you have to update a number, deletion, printing. These and all you have to explain slowly everyone. Like that you have to complete the all the data types. This is the thing you have to perform after completing a defined data types. Then only you have to go to the slicing operations and remaining. Hope you are clear, right? After completing the first layer, you have to plan a session. While giving the session, you have to give an empty file. You have to write yourself everything and you have to explain with the definition and how to create, how to update, how to delete, how to print. Okay. Okay, that's all today class. Hope you are clear. Next class will cover a slicing operation. Okay. Bye all.